Hello, what I'd like to demonstrate for you today is how to make a brush pattern in the shape of a zipper. I call it a zipper brush. What that means is if you look at this line right here, and if I go to View, Outline, or Command Y, you can see it's just a stroke, okay? And if you look over in my brush palette over here on the right, you can see I have a couple of different types. I will provide you this picture and I want you to recreate it. However, you can't recreate it like this shows. You can't recreate it using gradient blends because it won't work. You'll get an error message. You have to use like this version, all solid colors. You can add highlights, but every image has to be a solid color. One other thing I want to note is your zipper pull, the head of the zipper, you need to put the teeth underneath the zipper pull. If you don't, what happens is if you look over here on the right, can you see how there's nothing in the opening? That looks odd. It doesn't look correct. This version here does look correct, but the only way you get that is if you nest these teeth underneath the zipper pull handle. I'd like to show you a couple examples of what some past students have done. This one will show you this very creative rendering of a zipper. You can see the components in here. So the head, the end, and the middle teeth. Here's another one. They used the photo I provided as a guide and created their own artistic rendering of it. This is another version. They made a simplified version of it, but they did it correctly with the head, the middle teeth, and the end. This is done really nicely as well, using my photo I provided, which I will provide to you as well. Here's another one. I love how they did the teeth on this one. This person had so much fun, they decided to do flowers and palm trees, which I thought was really clever. You can see that's all there is, but a lot of detail went into it, so well done with that. What you need to make sure you do after you've created your zipper components, you need to make sure you turn it sideways, horizontally, just like all of these did before they dropped it into the swatches. So this is a very important step. If you don't, the zipper will not connect correctly. So let's make this together. I'm going to select this zipper. I'm going to say Command N or File, New. I'm going to drop this on the page. Turn it sideways. Okay, now I have my swatches open and my brushes open. I'm going to take the first part, the head of the zipper and the zipper pull. I'm going to drop this into my swatches. Then I'm going to select the teeth and I'm going to drop that in. And then I'm going to drop the back of it in. So now I have all three components in here. Now with nothing selected on the desktop, I'm going to go to my brush palette. I'm going to click New Brush. I'm going to say Pattern Brush. Then I'm going to say Pattern Brush, Zipper. All right, so what I notice is when I put my cursor over the various boxes here, this one says it's for the outer corner. I don't need any corners. I'll go to this one and say Side Tile, which is the same thing as the middle. The next one says Inner Corner Tile. Again, we don't need a corner. Start Tile, so that would be the head of the zipper and the end of the zipper. You can leave all this to fixed and leave this to default for now and say OK. And now here's my zipper. So now if I take my paintbrush and make sure my zipper is selected, I can make a line. Voila! After I've made this line, I can come up and I can make it bigger or very small. I could even change the style of the line. Isn't that neat? You can apply it to a shape. Which would only in this situation be the teeth of it. So have fun, and I can't wait to see what yours looks like. It does not need to look like mine. What I'd like to do now is show you how to make the button brushes. So let's take these two items that I've already created, say copy, Command C, Command N, or File New. Okay, so I'll take the top one that's supposed to have thread in it, drop it into my brushes, and I'll say I want to do a scattered brush. Say okay. I'll take this one and say I want, drop it in here and say I want an art brush. And then let me take the top one again. I'll drop that one in here and say I want a pattern brush. I don't need it on this one here, so I'm going to have to take it off. I don't need it on the corner. Pattern brushes. Okay, look what we can do. So if I take my brush, no fill, and for the stroke, I'm selecting this button, the first one that says scattered button, right? And I can make a line with it. Okay, now let me take the paintbrush. I'll take the second one and say art. And if I just do a straight line, I can do condensed, stretched, or if I do a circle and apply it onto a circle, change the size of it, I can do a really cool artistic shape. Or if I take the bottom one, which is your pattern brush, I can do something like this. I can reduce it. I can change the shape of it, which is a lot of fun. All right, I also want to show you something really neat to do. If I open up my symbol library and I drop my button into it, say button, make sure this says graphic clip, say OK, pick it, go to my symbol sprayer tool, and if I spray it all over the place, isn't that neat? Now watch what I can do. Now I can take the next tool, symbol shifter tool, and can you see how I'm kind of moving them around? Then I can take the symbol scruncher tool and I can make some get closer together. The sizer, I can click on certain ones and make certain buttons bigger than others. Isn't that fun? The spinner, it's kind of hard to see other than look at the shape of the thread inside the buttons. I can twist those around. Stainer tool, love that. If you look at the swatches for fill, it's a question mark, so I'm going to put purple on it. I'm going to double click on here. The head of this is way too big. I'm going to do 2 inches. If I click on here, I can change some of these colors. Let's pick green. I can do a direct hit, or I can kind of do it off to the side. And then screener tool, which will lighten up the opacity of some of them. If I grab all of these, I can kind of size them down. Isn't that neat? So have fun. Can't wait to see what your button looks like. Upload it to D2L when you're done.